Hey, what's up everybody? It's Kellen here from Start Your Systems and welcome to episode 5 of our MXGP Career Mode game playthrough here on Start Your Systems. And look at what I'm looking at is a nice shiny new Suzuki. Well, I do try to take as much advice from people on the channel as I can. And since we're 4 rounds into the championship, figured I'd switch it up a little bit. And someone recommended Suzuki. I got a couple recommendations for KTM, Honda, whatever. But someone also asked who is your favorite MXGP rider. And my favorite rider of all time is Ben Townley, so I couldn't not go with a Suzuki to get things kicked off. So I'm going to start things off with a Suzuki, and I want to get graphics on it first because I think that the stock Suzukis look really dumb, but that's okay. So we'll get some graphics on this bike, and I apologize if this part of the video is boring to you. Well, that looks pretty neato. But you can skip ahead probably like 5 minutes, I would say, into the video. You'll probably find a nice spot to watch the actual gameplay. I'm just going to go ahead and take a look at all graphic options and then throw up a little bit apparently. I wish you could like determine where your sponsors go on the bike, but you can't. I mean, that looks kind of cool, but I think I'm going to go with these HG stickers. There's a set on here somewhere that I really liked. Let's see if I can find it. Or maybe, well, I did like this one, but the circle plates are kind of dumb. Like if I could have this bike with just like normal-ish looking plates and not the old school circle plates, I think it would be bitchin'. I mean, I think this looks really cool, and Baggett and Stu have been running it this year, but I don't know, I think it'd be better without the circle plates. There's nothing really interesting there. Maybe this is just a really good graphics kit here. Ah, heck with it. We'll run with it. Alright, so graphics kit. Start working on power. Get some exhaust on there. I'll change up the exhaust though, because I ran FMF on the Yamaha. Or on the Yamaha. So let's go with Yoshimura, because I mean it is Suzuki, Yoshimura Suzuki, the factory team in the States. Run with the RS4 Carbon. Got 7,500 credits left to use. I'll get suspension next. Always got to go with Race Tech, official sponsor of Start Your Systems. Can't be left without the Race Tech, so special. Brake rotors, tires, accessories. Let's see. What looks better? What if we went with yellow? Hubs. Nah. I think black hubs would probably look the best. So black, but then we could probably run yellow rims. I had the Midas tires on the Yamaha. There's the Michelin's. Oh, how much is that? 500. Improves handling. We'll just run Michelin's, why not? And then we'll go to rims, which I think are kind of expensive actually. I want to see if I can find some nice gold rims. Those look good. Maybe the yellow. Those look actually pretty cool. I'll get them. Run the yellow rims. So we got that, got exhaust. I'm going to leave brake rotors for now and get bars. Might be able to get rotors. So I went with Renthal the first time. Randy, let's just go with R-Tech. Just trying to change it up, folks. I think I want to run the crossbar. Actually, those look really dumb on the Suzuki. Does these look better, maybe? I don't understand why the crossbar looks like it's ran so high. How about, oh, not Renthal, I wanted to go to Circuit. There it is. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. I think just black bars would probably be best. Run the black bars. Got 2,300 credits left. Aha, I knew I could change this. Aha! So run red on this because it matches the seat a little bit better and the bike. And then I wanted to do rotors next. I think I went with Brembo before, so maybe go with Galfer this time. The $800 brakes. Alright, got that, got that, got that, got that. So I need hand grips or hand guards. Someone, I think it said the grips help with steering or handling or something. I don't think that's true. I might be able to pull off both. 1,300 credits. Let's see. Hand guards first. I went with UFO, or no, I went with, yeah, UFO. No, Chirby's before, so let's look at UFO then. Yellow hand guards. Don't match the bike color though. Zeta. These look more neonish. Oh, those look better. More matching the bikes. I've always liked running hand guards, especially for outdoors. I think they looked really cool. I really liked when Pastrana used to always run them. So I just run them. You know, it is what it is. Some people think they look dumb. Some people do it. Just run them as like a what's the word I'm looking for? As like a confidence thing, because they're like, oh well, gonna be leading by a mile, so I don't need anything to block my fingers from getting pelted with rocks. But I'm just like, whatever. Who that cares? So I got Zeta. Well, I got the red ones, I guess. I think the UFO ones look pretty cool. So they're like the actual like colored grips. Yeah, I'll run with those. Alright, so we got a Suzuki, we got it all upgraded. Looking snazzy, which means I'm going to have to go back to my old gear set because that Suzuki looks way too red and yellow to not be running. Oh, I'm already on it. See, I bought all this stuff last time. And then so we're just going to stick with the red stuff, red, white, and whatever. Oh, why am I still on this? That's not what I wanted. That's what I want. That's what I want. I just want to use the Suzuki. Why can't I? How do I... Oh, I can just showroom this? Oh, look at that. With the numbers and everything. Okay. But I want to be able to ride the bike. If I can, that would be splendid. Is it not going to let me choose it? Because it still has me when we go back to menu here on the Yamaha 250. We'll just go to next race, which is Valkenswaard. Bike. Maybe now it'll let me. There we go. And gear all set up. And then, so we'll leave this the same. But another thing someone asked that I should do, and this will actually make the video shorter to compensate for the fact that I dicked around so much with the bike at the beginning, is to run one qualifying lap. That's it. Just go out for one qualifying lap, and the one qualifying lap that I run is what I go with. And so if I end up 22nd, whatever. If I end up first, that's great. If I end up somewhere in between, cool, whatever. But we're just going to do one qualifying lap each time, and that's what we run with. So let me tool with my bike setup a little bit, because I know this track's kind of fast, and so I want to go the high gear ratio. And then maybe a little stiffer suspension all the way around. I don't really know how to set up for sand. I just assume that stiff is better, but I might be wrong. Because if you go too soft, then don't you kind of sway around too much? But whatever. All right, qualifying on the new Zook, looking so fancy. And we'll see what time I get for qualifying. Oh yeah, that tabletop seems way smaller than I remember playing it last time. But you can hold it wick through there. That's right, I did play this. Last time I played this track, which is obviously the only time that I would have played this track, I was on a 450, so perhaps I don't really know how to attack it on a 250, but we'll see. Oh, this Suzuki looks so good, though. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Stop it. All right, there we go. Do I have the red plate on it to really make it... Oh, baby. You kidding me? That looks way too sexy. All the red and yellow. I look like a first-class German or Belgian rider for the Disnations team. Everyone always thinks that I'm super hyped over the Euros at the Disnations too. And don't get me wrong, I really love when the Euros do well at the Disnations, but being an American, I do root for the Americans. As much as people don't seem to think that I do. The the cool thing that I think comes out of non-Americans winning the Des Nations for the last, what would it be now, 5 years, is that the American fan base doesn't get to basically rub it in the rest of the world's noses that they are just the far superior motocross country and whatever, because in reality, you know, like 80% probably of the American series is raced by American racers, whereas the World Championship Series, which I think is, in my opinion, the better motocross series to watch right now, is raced by you know, people from all different countries. Like, it's pretty rare to get like a good like 3 or 4 set tandem of riders that are all from the same country. So when a country that has fewer riders necessarily to pull from wins against the stature of the United States, I think it's kind of unique. It's different. Like, I love the USA. You know, I'm not trying to dog it at all, but I think it's awesome that we get this diversity in the motocross world where it's not just cut and dry that the Americans every year at the Des Nations are going to clean house, because it was like that for a bit, sure, but it's not like that anymore. And I think that's awesome. I think that's really cool that it shows diversity. I qualified first with 1 qualifying lap, so. And apparently, in this game, switching mid-season on a bike doesn't really detract from your talent. Oh, got a bad start. Hit the gate. Does the Suzuki have pull into the first corner? Oh, getting stood up. I'm getting pushed wide still. Oh, thought I was going into the barriers. Going into the bears. These Suzukis that I'm riding right now remind me a little bit of the Suzukis that Rockstar Tekka Suzuki had back in, like, I want to say it was like in the 2009 to 2011 or 12-ish era, when Steve Ramon and Clement Desalle were on the team, and I think Roxon was on the team for a little bit there, but he was in the 250 class. But it kind of reminds me of those bikes with the red stripe on it. I think Ramon, obviously Desalle's Belgian, and so is Kevin Strybos, who's on that team now. But I think Ramon is Belgian as well. I might be wrong, but I want to say that's right. He's now retired. He had a big crash in 2013 or 2012 that effectively ended his career. But Ramon was a pretty badass rider, I thought. And I really liked those Suzukis when he and Desalle, or even when Desalle and Strybos were teammates. But now Desalle's gone over to Monster Cowie and made room for my favorite rider, Ben Townley, to make his way onto this factory Suzuki team, which, hey, I mean, I don't mind it. Good to see Townley back racing again. I thought it was done and dusted when he retired 2 years ago. So when he came back for his little kind of, what I thought was going to be his like encore or his swan song to race the Glen Helen GP last year and then the Des Nations, I was all eyes. I took a lot of pictures with my camera that day, and it's kind of funny going back looking through the pictures that I took from Glen Helen that day in 2015, the MXGP of the USA. How few pictures of Townley that I actually had, and I guess I must have just been because every time he went by I was either cheering him on or something like that. I don't know. I've always been a big Townley fan. I think he's pretty cool, and it was really neat to watch him and Villo go at it for a while, and then had a rough patch with Factory Honda, and then had some success with Choily Designs Honda, or Lucas Oil Honda, whichever one you want to call it. And then went back to the GPs, raced for Monster Cowie, I think, for a bit. Then went back to Australia/New Zealand, won the Australian Nationals. I think he rode for that Carlton Dry Honda team, and then eventually retired. He was looking for a little while, too, to get a factory ride with, I think, Kawasaki in the States back in about 2011, I think, because he came over and raced the Monster Cup, or was trying to. I can't remember if he raced the Monster Cup that first year that Villopoto won it all. I think he did. I want to say he did, and he was riding for Mitch Payton. But he was trying to get a deal struck. to come back to the States and race. And man, I would have loved to see that, especially if he was on Cowie, because he always seemed really comfortable on those Kawasaki's. But it just didn't happen. At least I get to see him again in the GPs. And man, I was pretty stoked when Townley ripped into the GP campaign when they were racing at Thailand earlier this year. That really ruffled Giuseppe Luongo's feathers at the FIM. You know, I think some of the things that the guys at Youthstream are doing with the MXGP Championship are good. I think that they're really good for the sport in some cases, but they're also doing some things that are way wrong, in my opinion, and in many riders' opinions. And Townley's concerns, I think, echoed a lot through the moto community. That, you know, racing in Thailand, albeit it is a world championship and they have to race in all conditions and whatever, I get that. But I don't know if it's the best thing to take these athletes that are doing a very dangerous sport, a sport in which, you know, the death is a possibility, but at the very least serious injury is always a possibility, to go to a third world country where, I mean, you know, I'm not trying to knock on Thailand, but I don't know if necessarily the hospitality and the hospitals that are there and stuff like that are really all that awesome. And I mean, I can remember hearing stories, you know, back in the 60s and 70s when Formula One was kind of just a really crappy sport safety-wise, that the doctors that would tend to these people that were getting serious incidents wouldn't even know like where the hospital was or something like that, and drivers would die because of that. And that's like what comes to my mind when someone gets hurt at a GP that's at this third world country like a Mexico or a Thailand, because it's like, good God, who knows what or who is driving an ambulance and to where, you know. So that's my thoughts on the Townley situation that he brought up at Thailand earlier this year about the tracks not being that awesome and the facility not being all that great. I mean, it sucks for the fans that are in Thailand, because I'm sure that they're pretty stoked to have the race there, and it seemed like the turnout wasn't too bad, but it is what it is, you know. So I dominated Moto 1 pretty handily. I didn't see the winning margin, but it wasn't close. So on to Moto 2. Oh, much better start that time. Whole shot for sure. Look at how far out in front I am going into turn 1. I just cut the track a bit there. But whole shot. Achievement unlocked. Europe MXGP. Whatever that means. Oof. I'm so confused, because I don't think that... Was Valkenswaard the MXGP of Europe last year? Where else did they go in the Netherlands? Oh, Assen. Assen was the Grand Prix of the Netherlands last year, right? Right? The Dutch TT Assen track? That's in the Netherlands. Dutch? Am I just being stupid? That must have been what it was. So this would have been the Grand Prix of Europe last year, and I think it was this year too, which means that they're going back to Assen this year. I'm completely having a brain fart on the schedule right now. I don't know what I'm doing. So I will have to do some reading and find out whether or not that's the truth for the next video. But right now I am far too busy being delicious. Judge Fudge. No, I'm far too busy destroying Paul's Jonas and whoever else is back there. It's just that Jonas is in second, so I'm saying his name right now. Also had a comment on the channel when the episode 4 of this series went up on last Tuesday, that it was a strange comment. It was like Paul's Jonas is like, someone said like Paul's Jonas is not that good in real life or something like that, something to that effect. I don't know what they were going for. I couldn't tell whether they were saying that Paul's Jonas isn't that good in this game, or that he's not as good as he is in this game in real life, or, you know, I was right confused about that one. But I mean, Jonas is pretty dang good. I know he's not second in the World Championship per se right now, but he's had some bad luck, some big crashes and stuff. Definitely one of the best riders to come out of Latvia in some time. Who else is from Latvia? I think isn't Mattis Caro, or am I thinking of is it Mattis Caro or, man, I can't think of the other guy's name, but there's someone that I think is like actually Latvian or something, or maybe he's actually Estonian, but he identifies as Finnish. Is that Mattis Caro? I mean, I try to know as much as I can about GPs. I have to actually cover this, you know, the season and stuff like that to get paid to do a job. So I feel like I know a decent about, but I'll admit when I'm wrong. If it's not Mattis Caro, I'm sorry. Could be thinking of someone else. Maybe, oh, am I thinking of Harry Coolass instead? What is Mattis Caro then? I don't know. Definitely have to do my research after this one. I have to apparently revisit the schedule from last year and this year to make sure that Assen's still on the calendar and that it was the Dutch GP last year. And I also need to learn what nationality Mattis Caro and Coolass are under. I'm pretty sure Coolass is the one I'm talking about, though. That he was born in a different country but lived in Finland most of his life, so he represents Finland when it comes to destinations, or something like that. I don't know. I'm going to not let my brain destroy myself, though, and I'm going to continue to just ride away from everybody. A couple people also brought up in the comments that it's kind of strange how some companies are not represented in the game even though they are like a part of a team or a rider wears them. For example, Tim Geiser in this game is wearing shift gear, but you cannot wear shift gear in this game, at least not yet. I don't know if maybe they're trying to work out a deal with that. Fox, I'm pretty sure, owns shift, so it's kind of strange that they'd be able to get Fox but not work out some sort of deal to get shift in also. I don't know what the deal with that is. I mean, shift is still well and truly a part of the MXGP circuit. They throw some threads on Townley and Strybos on that factory Suzuki team and whatnot, but I don't know why shift isn't in this game. And then someone also said, like, what's the deal with no Bell helmets in this game? There's some riders that do wear Bell helmets, and I don't understand why it wouldn't be in this game. And again, don't know the answer to it. It totally depends on the license that the FIM carries and is allotted to give to Milestone to then create a game off of that license. So if Milestone only owns certain aspects of a team to be able to use as a reproduction in a video game, then obviously that's all they can do, and they can't just rip off other companies and have Bell or whatever else in the game. But it's a great question. I don't know why it works out that way. I wish I knew more, but I don't. All right, so moving on to the next one, which is Talavera in Spain. This is another track that I have, again, already played in online stuff with some friends. But I did it on a 450 there, so I don't know how it handles on a 250. Again, I think it's a semi-fast track. It's got a couple tight corners, but I think sticking with this high gearing is really useful on a 250F. So I'm going to go ahead and just make sure, maybe tone the suspension down a little bit all the way through. Just that, actually. And then make sure transmission's still... Oh, nope, it's not. So back on high. Got all that. And go to track for my one qualifying lap. Oh, yeah. This track in Spain is a fairly hard-packed circuit, as with most Spanish or Portuguese tracks that I've seen, like Águeda in Portugal that they used to race, but don't race at the moment at least. It was in the previous game. MXGP, the official motocross video game, had Águeda or Agueda, however you want to pronounce it. I'm not sure how the Portuguese say it, but that's in Portugal, which is on the southern side of Spain, if I'm not mistaken. Those of you who perhaps are geography majors can correct me. Oh, I just ripped through that corner. I just turned and hooked. I'm getting a lot more like comfortable with the feel of like laying the bike over, hooking ruts, waiting outside pegs so that you get a little bit better drive on stuff and whatnot. And it feels really unique. Getting whipped on. Excuse me, Mr. Paul's Jonas. Trying to get to your inside. Oh, come on. Why do you just run me over? Like, I could do nothing there. I'm leaning into the corner. I'm already completely turned to the left. I'm getting on the throttle to spin the back end around just a little bit. It just runs right into my rear tire and I'm immediately down. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. Well, not going to end up with that great of a qualifying section here. But we're going to try. Oh, okay. I think I cut the track there, but we'll see. Still might beat these guys or not. Oh, okay. This is not going to go well. I'm already not going to be top time. Will I be anywhere close? I'm going to be at a 1. Are you? Okay, I thought that didn't count. All right. 144 or something or another. It put me 5th at the time, but I'd imagine that I'm going to go backwards from there. So let's see. It puts me in 16th. All right, so we're going to have a little bit of a wee outside gate pick here. So that's not going to be any fun. Although it is a tight chicane in a turn 1. There's a very funny video, or at least funny from my point of view. I mean, it's not probably that funny for most, but Fernando Alonso explaining the French Magny-Cours circuit, a Formula 1 track. And there's a point in the video where he goes, you go right left through the chicane into a very heavy braking, but the way that he says it almost sounds like you make a right left in a chicken into a very heavy bacon. And it's pretty funny. I don't know. You could try to find it. I don't know what entity uploaded. I don't think it's a like official Formula 1 thing, although it might be. But it's just the inflection in Alonso's Spanish accent that makes it unique and kind of funny. I don't try to make fun too much of people with accents or people trying to say things in English that's not their first language. But just the way that he said it was kind of funny. I think Alonso's a pretty cool dude. And now I feel like I'm talking a little bit about F1 too much for a motocross video. But when you play a European video game, it's hard not to rule out the world's most popular motorsport that's mainly European, Formula 1. Oh, stayed low. Get low, get low. Oh, coming in, Julian Lieber. Excuse me, mister. Aren't you hurt right now? What did you do? How did you hurt yourself? I forget. Oh, clipped his rear tire. Whoa, that was a good line by... Oh, kidding me. I just looped malaria up the hill. Oh, coccyx. Well, at least you can make contact with riders in air and not fall, because I feel like cross-jumping would be a blue bitch in this game. Especially playing online, because people literally just go all over the place sometimes. Get whipped on hurlings. And then just launch onto the start straight. Oh, don't loop out. Damn it. I was trying to cut under you, Petrov, and you just braked so hard. Trying to get by Petrov. Oh my gosh, I just tossed it down that hill. It's a pretty good battle going on right here. 4 different manufacturers, 5 actually, because Hurlings is right behind me. We got Yamaha, Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki, and KTM. We're just missing the TM and the Husqvarna. Oh! Right now, I'm trying to make it a Suzuki at the front. Get to the inside of Geyser. I'm really good down this hill for some reason. Oh boy. Come on, I got you, Lever. Give me some room. Yeah. Alright, I didn't give you any room back, but whatever. So sorry, Charlie. Going down the hill. Don't know why I took that line again, because I'm getting passed by doing it. Brr up. Brr, brr up. Oh, that looked pretty cool. It was like power sliding through that corner a little bit there. Alright, now we're going to try to run away with this thing. Us and our fantastical red plate. So to start the season, this is the 6th GP of the season, and we've won 3 out of 5. We lost at Qatar by going 7-1, but then we backed it up with a 1-1 performance at Thailand. Then went 1-1 at Argentina. Then I was looking good to go 1-1 at Arco de Trento, but I ended up going 1-8, I want to say, in that one after a crash in the second race. So didn't win that GP, but then just won Valkenswaard, as you just saw. So that's the first 5 GPs done. 3 out of 5, points lead, looking good in the MX2 class, riding a different bike now. And for those of you that are probably going to be like, oh, you should ride this next. Well, I need to get the money to do that, so we'll probably wait until I have enough funds to buy that, quote, next bike and dump a lot of money into it. Like the Zook, though. Feeling good on it. Don't really know if... I mean, I would assume that, to be fair to the manufacturers of the game, they make all bikes equal, and then you can tune the suspension and everything to be different. But I could be wrong. I mean, it could be that the Suzuki does turn a little bit better, but is down on power, which is true of the Suzukis. But it doesn't really feel like it. Oh, whoops. Oh, please don't lose the lead because of that. Feels like the Suzukis have plenty of power. At least in my opinion, they do. And I am going to hang on to win this one, but just barely. Not so much, I guess. Lever was still a little ways back. Alright. Achievement. Race 1 in the books. Moving on to race 2. Going for the sweep. Going for the sweep of the video. First time in a video that I might go undefeated. Well, technically that's not true because I went undefeated in my wildcard race, but this is different. This is during the World Championship that I'm in, where I've got the red plate and I'm starting on gate pick number 16. Way the fuck out there! Alright, let's get a better start this time too. I got an abysmal start that last time. That one's alright, but I'm going to get squeezed, trying to get in between Ferrandis and Watson. Oh, actually, this is a really good start because I got a good line here. There it is. Oh, just nudged in there too. Trying to get around Geyser for the lead. Oh, just trying to cut under you there, Timothy. I'll just go outside and hit this berm, since you're going to tiptoe in your Jordans to the inside. This time it's Valentin Guillot, not Julian Lever on the standing construct Yamaha that's right behind me. Oh my goodness. Somehow I didn't fall there. Should've. That was pretty much two-story drop to flat. In sim, my legs would be off the bike. In reflex, my body would be slithering along the ground. I don't know what would happen in Encore because, well, not too many people know what happens when you do something in Encore. But in MXGP2, the game, you can pretty much free fall to your death and land on 2 wheels no problem. Because it appears that falling from a great height to flat is not a negative effect on you in this game. At least not yet. I haven't fallen from a great height yet. Ah, boy. I'm going to have to, as the season progresses and I develop more of a points lead and whatnot, I think what I'm going to do is maybe just like skip qualifying or something, end up with last gate pick, but then just let everybody go and have a head start. I mean, I'm on realistic difficulty, but I'm just kind of slaying the competition. But yeah, I mean, like maybe let them have at first 5 seconds a race to get away, and then 10 seconds a race, and until it gets to the point where like I'm literally catching them on the last lap. And by them, I mean the leaders of the race. Because I don't want to say them and then people are like, well, you mean the whole pack on the last lap? Because that's kind of ridiculous. But I like to have fun. I like to make a little game out of it. I know that I'm going for the world championship in this game, but you know, whatever. It is a game. We are here to have fun. Get up and get down. Oh. So in the end, I think this video is actually going to be a little shorter than part 4. Having gone through and bought the Suzuki and everything, it's working out just fine. So 1 lap to go here in a couple corners at Talavera, and then we'll wrap up this video. So I'll spend the last lap saying my usual spiel that I do at the end of the videos. Fell, got up, still leading by a mile. Anyway, usual spiel at the end of this video is if you like this video, which I seem to think that most of you do because it gets lots of likes and lots of positive comments. But if you're not a subscriber to the channel, you know, you should probably subscribe. I hear it's one of the better channels out there. And that's not the bias speaking whatsoever, I'll tell you that much. But seriously, subscribe. We've got some cool stuff. You can check out our channel. You can find ways to do different stuff. You can even play games with us on occasion. And then if you like this video, keep it up with hitting that like button. Always nice when you spam that guy. And then hit us up with any comments, questions, concerns, whatever it may be. We try to answer all questions, and we try to take into account all comments, as you have seen in this video. People said ride a Suzuki, I'm riding a Suzuki. People said only do 1 qualifying lap, I'm only doing 1 qualifying lap. People asked who's your favorite rider in MXGP, I've talked about that. What else? Changed up a bunch of different companies as well that I have on the bike, because I did have a bunch of stuff that wasn't on there before. So now I've got a Yosh pipe, and I think this time I've got Galfer brakes, but I had Brembo before or something like that. Now I've got Zeta handguards and UFO grips, and went over the Yosh pipe. But yeah, that's it. So that is it for episode 5 of MXGP2, the career, the official motocross video game career mode, a gameplay through. For Kellen here on Start Your Systems, we're gonna see you guys on episode 6.